Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Rachel here with another first impressions video for you guys today. This is entirely cold sniff impressions. I have not burned any of these, and we are going to be taking a look at the 6 new Kringle Candle Holiday candles this year for 2025. Yes, holiday here in the middle of September. I feel like the retail world keeps pushing it up sooner and sooner. And I don't necessarily mind when we push fall up because I'm not a summer person. But holiday, I'm still really much enjoying my fall scents right now. So if you're not ready for this, no pressure. I'm actually late to the party as an ambassador with this video. A lot of the ambassadors already have information out there for you guys. So I'm a little bit delayed, but even if you're not ready, feel free to take your time with these. This is not like the Halloween. Like if you're new to Kringle and you joined during like the Halloween time frame and you saw how fast things were selling out, these are meant to stick around for a little while. These are going to be restocked through the season if needed. And these you can even kind of sample in a smaller size. These will be available in daylights and wax melts, as well as the large jars and the 4 wicks. So I bought 2 4 wicks and the rest large jars, but if you want to buy like a daylight or a wax melt just to kind of sample the scent a little bit, see if it's going to be something you like before purchasing a larger jar, you have time to do that with this collection, so that's nice. And as for reviews of these, I'm going to take my time with them a little bit because like I said, I'm not really fully ready to transition into full-blown holiday scents here in my house. I did purchase these as a pre-order as an ambassador with Kringle. So these were not PR. If they had been sent to me in PR, I'd probably feel a little bit more internal pressure to hurry up and get those reviews out for you guys. But because I did buy these, I do want to enjoy them as well as review them for you guys. So I will take my time a little bit. And again, like we don't have to worry about these selling out quickly. So we will take a look at what I have here. And I just want to apologize in advance if I seem a little bit low energy. It's not because I'm not excited about this collection. I'm actually really happy with these scents, the packaging, everything. Like the overall appeal here is really in my wheelhouse, and I'm really excited for these. But I'm just not feeling well today, guys. Sickness has kind of taken down my house. My kids both brought different things home over the weekend, and now I'm sort of feeling it. So, you know, if I'm not quite myself or I'm not quite as excited as you think I should be, that is why. It really has nothing to do with the candles. So bear with me. That's also why this video is late. I'd hoped to have this up earlier in the week, and that just didn't happen. So thank you guys for your patience, but hopefully it will be worth it because I think these are really good. So let's take a look at the 6 new holiday fragrances this year. We'll start with probably my least favorite, but still not one that I dislike. That is Santa's Workshop. Very cute label here with the little wooden toys. Very like old school Christmas. I like that. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but like the Kringle name is in black lettering. Usually it's in white. All the rest of them are white, but it's really kind of hard to see. And I don't know if that was intentional or not, but just something I noticed about this label. But I mean, this is the large jar. So this is kind of like their standard size, their standard jar. These are not like specialty candles like Halloween or Reserve. So these are priced at $31. They are 22 ounces and up to 100 hours of burn time. And you can use my code Simply Scented if you need a discount code. That will get you 15% off. Just know that it's a commission code, so thank you if you do choose to use that. But you can also check and see if you have rewards from past purchases. Those sometimes will give you a better discount, so make sure you're getting the best deal. But like this is their standard size now. We no longer have the medium jars or the 3 wicks. I'm going to show you 2 4 wicks here as well. Those are, I think, $45. So a little bit more for the 4 wicks, and then the smaller wax melts and the daylights. Much cheaper options for sampling. But getting back to Santa's Workshop here, this one has notes of wood, cherry, tobacco, suede, musk, and cedar. And this one, based on the notes, I knew this was going to be a little bit outside of my comfort zone, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was kind of hoping for a little bit of like, maybe like a sawdust type of scent. But what we have here on Cold, the thing that hits me first is the cherry. followed by that suede note, which is almost a little bit leathery. It's there is wood in here. I do get a little bit of that cedar, but the wood here is kind of being outshined so far by the suede. So I'm wondering if that will change at all when it's burning. A lot of times things like that will happen, but it's a very, very unique fragrance that I cannot compare this to anything. There's a little bit of warm tobacco in here, and I don't know if some of that warmth is just from the tobacco or from that musk note, but there is a little bit of a warmth to it. It almost feels a little bit cozy. It's a little bit masculine, but it doesn't really feel like a wearable cologne type of masculine. I think it's just the nature of those scent notes giving it that a little bit of a masculine edge. But the cherry here kind of is probably the most unique part. I wasn't really sure what to expect with that cherry note, but it's kind of fun because I feel like it's like that one little piece of whimsy, the one little thing that almost adds a little bit of childlike charm to the Santa's Workshop concept. You know, just adding a little bit of bright, fun cherry here. And it's not like a heavy medicinal cherry. It's just kind of bright and happy cherry. And it's not overpowering. I actually get more of that burst of cherry right when I open the jar, but then as it airs out a little bit, it tones down and you get more of those other notes. But it's just a really nice accent, and it almost kind of breaks up some of those a little bit more intense notes like suede and tobacco and musk. Like, it breaks it up a little bit. So I'm kind of actually looking forward to burning this one and seeing how it does. It feels a little bit cozy, so you know, it's not off-putting. I'm a little bit nervous about this suede note. That's like the one thing that makes me a little bit nervous, is I'm not a huge fan of leathery type scents. But this one, I think if you like those sort of like slightly masculine type of like maybe slightly leathery toned with that little bit of tobacco in there, this one is probably a good one for you to try. Almost brings a little bit of like a Santa's pipe sort of image to my mind as well as the Workshop. I'm really hoping I get a little bit more cedar when it's burning, I'll be honest. But yeah, not a bad fragrance, even despite kind of not being in my wheelhouse. I am looking forward to burning this one. Next, we have one that I was definitely excited about. This is Snow Walk. Another just gorgeous label here. Really, really pretty. And I am a peppermint lover, so this was like an absolute must. This is a little bit different take on a peppermint than anything I have right now. So the notes here are vanilla, peppermint, white chocolate, sandalwood, and musk. So this one for me, it's vanilla and that like creaminess forward over the peppermint. You do get the peppermint, but it's not like a huge icy burst. Like, it's not very mentholated and like nose tingling peppermint. It's not medicinal at all. It's almost like a sweet, almost slightly candy-like peppermint, if you will. And I don't know if it's the white chocolate that's giving that slightly like candy-like tone, but it's not like a burst of in-your-face peppermint. If you think in terms of two very well-known peppermint scents in Yankee Candle's North Pole and Yankee Candle's Jack Frost. Jack Frost is a little bit more peppermint forward. It's a little bit more forefront of peppermint with like a slight bit of vanilla to the background. North Pole is more vanilla forward with the peppermint a little bit more mellowed out. This is a little bit more in line with North Pole, if you happen to like that one. But it is a little bit different with that sandalwood piece. The sandalwood and the musk almost add like a unique little contrast here where you've got a little bit of warmth to go behind that peppermint. So like if you think in terms of a snow walk, you've got that cool air, you've got that cool coolness here from the peppermint, but maybe you're walking wrapped in a nice cozy coat or sweater or a scarf, adding a little bit of warmth in contrast to that coolness. That's kind of like how this candle comes across to me. The thing with this one though, it kind of, on cold, I can tell it kind of walks the line between being gourmand versus being body care like. So here's the thing. On one half, you've got that peppermint and the vanilla and the white chocolate that feels slightly edible, slightly gourmand. But then on the other side, you've got that musk and the sandalwood. And depending how this plays out in the burn, I'll be curious to see. I hope that the sandalwood like stays chill like it is here on cold, because I really don't want this to go to feeling like full-blown body care like. So I guess we will see how this plays out. I haven't looked at any reviews of these guys, so I really have no idea what anybody has been saying about them. But yeah, it kind of like walks that line. So if you're sensitive to that, I know some of you really don't like any sort of body care like essence mixed with anything that is not in that family of fragrances. This one you might want to try in a sample size first and see if you like it. On cold, I really like it, and as long as it kind of like keeps that sort of peppermint and vanilla at the forefront, I think I'll do okay with this one. But that's my early thoughts on a Snow Walk. Next up, I've got Vintage Christmas. Gorgeous label. Once again going with this sort of like old school traditional Christmas charm. This is what speaks to my soul. I was like, I don't even care what the notes are on these. I just want them all. So this one is like one of those scents where vintage Christmas can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. There's a lot of subjectivity that kind of comes behind Christmas scents and you know, your memories and all of that and what you relate to, you know, certain things. So this one, I was really just hoping that it used classic elements, because I figure as long as you stick with sort of classic Christmas sort of scent elements, you should be okay with this one. And I do feel like the scent works. We've got notes of balsam, fruit, spice, cinnamon, wood, and amber. And like this, it's less balsam than I would have expected. I get a lot of fruit and spice with this one at the forefront, with a little bit of that woods in the background, but the balsam in this is very, very mellow. Like it's very even hard to pick up. And if I didn't read that as a scent note, I'm not sure that I would detect that there was any sort of balsam in here. I do get a little bit of a woodsiness, but it's not like Christmas tree, you know, intense. You get a lot of fruit and spice here. The fruit, I get some orange, I get some berry, I get a little apple maybe. It's like, it's almost a familiar fruity note. For those who had winter spice last year, it was in the Country Candle line in last holiday's collection. Winter spice had orange and berries in it, and it smells like very similar to that fruity tone that was in that one. But that one was like a lot of fruit and very little spice, despite being called winter spice. This is almost like more like what I would expect that one to smell like because I get the cinnamon stick here, and it's kind of like borderline red hot, but it's not like full-blown red hot, more like a cinnamon stick that like really like sort of true spiciness. And it's not intense or suffocating. Like the fruit kind of mellows it out. But this is really nice, very sort of classic elements here. Not very ambery on cold. There is something a little bit warm about it, a little bit cozy about it, like kind of in keeping with our label here, like, you know, sitting by the fireplace. So I know there is amber in here somewhere, but it's not like dominating, which is good. But if you like those sort of spicy, fruity fragrances with just like that hint of a tree note here, almost like those simmer pot sort of fragrances where you throw in maybe some orange slices and some cloves and some cinnamon. I do get a little clove in here, but like something you might let simmer on the stove. But yeah, not very tree heavy. So if you're somebody who doesn't really like tree fragrances, but you want something Christmassy, this might be a good option for you. I'm really curious to see how this one burns, if those notes change at all. But it has a very sort of festive feel, very like classic Christmas sort of feeling about it, which is really what I was looking for. So I'm looking forward to burning Vintage Christmas. All right, the next one here, Cinnamon Apple Wreath. This one was kind of a bit of a question mark for a little while. And I'm glad it finally made the lineup because on cold, this is delicious. I think there was some concern over the name and the label. It kind of makes it seem like maybe there would be like a wreath element, like a greenery or trees. And really this is This is a gourmand fragrance and a delicious one on cold. The notes are baked red apple, cinnamon stick, sparkling mandarin, clove bud, mulled cranberry, sugared berries, warm woods, vanilla bean, and golden amber. I think I'm gonna regret not getting this in a 4-wick too. This is nice. This is definitely a baked apple. This does not feel like a crisp, fresh apple. If you were thinking this might be like Yankees Red Apple Wreath, very different. This has a very sort of rich vanilla to it. There's something very creamy and almost decadent about this one that just makes it feel like that yummy, yummy sort of gourmand essence. It's spiced, but it's not spice heavy. Like the spices feel in line with bakery spices here. I do get the cinnamon. I do get a little bit of clove, but they're not harsh in any way. It's not like red hot cinnamon. It's just kind of mellow. I don't get much mandarin here that they claim, but there is something that does keep it like a little bit fresher, a little bit brighter almost. And the berry here, they say cranberry and then I think sugared berries. It's not very distinct. I do get a little bit of a sugary sort of berry in here, but the apple is more so what I'm picking up. And it's just really, really nice. The amber doesn't make this feel perfumey at all to my nose. If anything, it's adding to that warm sort of almost bakery-like feeling. But it's really nice. This is just... If you're a gourmand fan, you like apple scents, I would just go for this one. Cinnamon apple wreath. Just be aware this is not like a wreath scent. But if you're looking for gourmands, and I know a lot of you are looking for gourmands, this is definitely one to try. All right, I've got 2 4-wicks left. So what did I find intriguing enough to go right into the 4-wick? Something I rarely do, sight unsmelled. First one is Kringle Cupcake. And part of the reason I went for the 4-wick, honestly, was to have this full label. I've told you guys, I think that I scrapbook my labels when I'm done with these candles. I wanted this like full image label. The 2-wicks, like it's a little bit more like cut off to fit on the jar that way. This, I wanted the full thing. And I also figured because this is a vanilla based scent that the 4-wick would probably have a little bit easier time handling my open concept space in terms of strength and projection. So I said, you know what, it's a vanilla scent. Let's just go for the 4-wick and hope for the best. And, you know, also to the fact that based on these notes here, it sounded like it would be one of those scents that is holiday appropriate, but is something that I can burn anytime. And the notes here, vanilla, cake, cream, spice, vanilla bean, and sweet. You know, very, very accurate notes. This one, it's like a lightly spiced vanilla cake. And the thing I like here the most is that I actually do smell a cake note, which is kind of rare. Like even scents that are kind of marketed as being like a cupcake scent, usually they smell to me mostly like a frosting note or just like a vague vanilla. Like even the ones that are really good, like this, I actually smelled the cakey quality to it. So this is really impressing me on cold. And on cold, granted guys, this is a 4-wick, so it could have a little bit more oomph to it than, you know, just putting your nose in the smaller jar, but like it is strong on cold. So I'm really hoping that this is a winner for me. Of all the scents here, this is the one that I was most tempted to just kind of light up early, especially this weekend. You guys, this weekend, both of my kids were down for the count, and it was both my husband's and my birthdays. And usually we will go out for dinner or something like that to celebrate, pick up a cake or cupcakes or something. And that was just not in the cards for us this weekend. So I was like really close to being like, all right, if I can't eat cake, maybe I'll just go smell it. So I ended up not lighting it, but yeah, I was really tempted because this truly does have like a nice sort of warm cake note. The vanilla here feels creamy, but it doesn't feel, it doesn't have that sort of lactonic dairy-like edge that sometimes vanilla does. I know there was some issues with leprechaun treats. First of all, that candle became very sooty for many people, but also some people were saying it smelled almost cheese-like. And that is something that with vanilla-based scents, and I didn't have the problem with that one, but I've had that come up before where they almost have like a slightly dairy-like quality with that cream and the butter in there, and they can have like that sort of lactonic, almost cheesy-like quality about it. I don't get any of that here, and I think partly because of the spice and partly because there is a true cake note here with that creamy vanilla, but this is like a nice, rich, decadent sort of cakiness with a bakery spice. Spice is very blended in here. It's not like a heavy spice. It's, I would say, less spicy than a gingerbread and more spicy than a snickerdoodle maybe. I don't know, somewhere in like in that mix. I get cinnamon, I get like a hint of a clove, a hint of maybe a slight ginger, just like those Christmas baking spices, but very mellow and very sort of blended in. But this is the one that I just want to keep smelling. So I'm glad I went for the full 4-wick, and I'm really having some high hopes for this one. But that is a Kringle Cupcake. Last but not least, we have Christmas Tree Farm. Ooh, this is heavy. But very, very nice label. This label really speaks to me. I've got lots of like little red truck things around here. I kind of live in like one of those like middle of nowhere small towns, so like the like rustic country charm sort of Christmas, the traditionalist vibe, like that is what my Christmas decor style is. So this was like one of those guaranteed had to throw it in the car sort of fragrances, no matter what the notes were. But I also really happen to like how Kringle does tree scents, and I have been on a mission to try them. If you've been following me since last Christmas, I think I told you guys, I've been trying to try all of Kringle's tree scents. I think I only have a couple left that I haven't gotten to yet. And I do hope to do a video this year talking about all their different tree scents, but now we've got a new one to include here. This one's got notes of fir needle, balsam, pine, orange, wood, and musk. And this one on cold, part of it I really love, and part of it makes me a little bit nervous. And I'm just being honest. I like it, but this is going to be one of those ones I have to burn because I want to see how these notes play out. I get a very fresh cut tree note here. Definitely that fir and that balsam coming through like right off the bat very strongly. And then underneath that, the part that makes me a little nervous is that musky quality to it with the wood. I like the wood note here. It's almost a little cedar wood-like maybe, but very fresh wood, like definitely your fresh chopped down tree stump. But the musk makes me a little bit nervous. That's like the one thing that I hope doesn't like come out super strong when it's burning. The orange, like it's not like a brightly distinct orange. It's not as citrusy as some tree scents can be. The orange almost adds like just a hint of a like extra freshness, a little bit of a almost like a spritz. But it's not like a heavy orange. It's not, yeah, I don't get a whole ton of it, but it is there for sure. I don't know how that will change when it's burning, but for reference, my top tree scent from Kringle, and maybe even in general, is juniper and laurel. And that's the part of this where like the freshness of it, the fresh cutness of it reminds me a little bit of juniper and laurel. But then there's something else here that reminds me a little bit more of, I think it was Winter Wonder, another Kringle tree scent that had a little bit more of that woodsy, almost slightly, I don't know. It's the musk here that's making me nervous, but I do like it. And regardless, I am still glad I bought the 4-wick just for the packaging alone. And I will absolutely report back to you guys. You know, will it take the crown of juniper and laurel? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced, but you never know. Things do change when they burn. So that's where we're at here with the end of the kind of 6 candles I hear to go through. I hope that helped you maybe make decisions as to where you might be interested in, ones you might want to try a sample size first, or ones you might want to just go for. But yeah, I think this is a really solid lineup. I mean, Christmas Tree Farm definitely being the most like quintessential sort of the fragrances. If you're looking for like that Christmas tree quintessential Christmas scent, Christmas Tree Farm. Another one that is pretty like on that quintessential line is Vintage Christmas. You know, and if you're looking for something a little bit different and something unique, Santa's Workshop, definitely the most unique here. And I would even argue that Winter Walk, definitely a little bit more unique take on a peppermint than we've seen traditionally from Kringles. So lots of good choices here, a really solid lineup. And I have to imagine that because these are coming so early in September that we're going to be seeing some other things from them. No, I have no confirmed information, you know, on anything that's to come. Usually we see some sort of winter or holiday reserves, but I would imagine there's something else up their sleeve. So pace yourselves. Definitely pace yourselves. We got a long way to go, but you know, it's looking good so far. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'm hoping, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the any of the fall reserves reviewed before the launch. I'm gonna try to maybe get one in, but I don't know. I'm just running out of time. That sick weekend really threw me off here. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I will do my best. But as always, feel free to leave any questions you have about these or about any of the fall reserves that I talked about. I had 3 of them in a previous video that I'll link in the description here. I have been burning them a little bit, so feel free to leave any questions you might have if you're, you know, wondering or debating if you want to pick any of those up. You know, I always try to get back to those questions, so feel free to let me know. And as for what else is to come here on my channel, I did get my first Goose Creek order in a very, very long time. My first actual round of 3 wicks from Goose Creek that I will share with you guys at some point, probably next week. But some good stuff coming. I also have some reviews for the Boo Crew, which should be restocked next month. So, you know, there's a lot to come. So if you want to stick around for that and you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, give this video a like, and, you know, I really appreciate that support. Slowly growing over here. So I really appreciate that when you guys subscribe. So thank you so, so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if you are shopping tomorrow, you know, have fun. And if it's too early for you, save this video and come back. But, you know, and reference it when you're ready to buy. But thank you guys, as always, for taking the time to tune in. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.